Good afternoon, folks. I hope this works much better than it did last weekend. For those new, I am Sean in Alaska, and welcome to the live. Let me jump back to the beginning here. A couple of caveats to begin with. Last week we had some major issues on signal, and hopefully we don't have those issues this week. So first, let me check down here on the bottom. Everybody see, everybody hear, everything going okay as far as that goes? I know the picture's still not as good as it needs to be. I'm going to pick up a webcam this week, but how's the audio? How's the video? Just waiting. Drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee today, actually. Crazy. Jolie says, good lighting. Okay, cool. Awesome. Declan says, yeah. Okay, perfect. Let me scroll back to the top then. I like to keep these really family friendly, and I do that because, Declan and Lorelei in here are youngins, and my whole channel's about being friendly, being fun, having a good time. So we stay away from politics, we stay away from religion, that kind of stuff. I'll answer any questions you have for me as long as I can, and as long as I can do so nicely. Other than that, chat amongst yourself. If you have something you need to say to me and you want a question answered, by all means, put it in caps so it draws my attention. And if you see me skip over it, I don't do that intentionally. I may miss it. So ask it again. I don't have a problem with that at all. And if I miss you when you come in, say hi twice, and then I'll probably catch it the second time as well. So I'm still trying to get used to this, looking at the screen on the side, looking at the camera so that it looks like I'm looking at you and catching all the comments. Start everything off with saying hello to everybody who showed up. Charles, thanks you for joining. JD from SC, thanks for joining, my friend. Good to see you as well. Scrolling on down here. Joe Montano, glad you could make it, my friend. Thank you for joining me. We've got Declan, Lorelei, and their mom, Jolie, and I'm sure Piper's there as well. Thank you guys for joining me. Awesome to have you here. Steve, welcome, my friend. Glad you could make it. Bill from the Lone Moose, thank you, bud. Glad you could make it. Just got home from a 120-mile motorcycle ride, and it was 68 today. Rub it in, Bill. Come on, go ahead and rub it in. Leslie A., I am glad you could make it. Hillywood Life, my daughter Ashley. Glad you could make it, babe. Glad you're here. Alaska's Last Frontier Cabin, glad you can make it. Awesome. Raspberry Rock Off Grid, the ever incomprehensible Russell. Glad you can make it, bud. Thank you for joining me. I know, right? I love the trailer. And Russell pointed out the one thing that I knew when I uploaded it, that right like in the beginning of it, I have like a glitch at 6 or 7 seconds in audio, and it drove me nuts, but I wanted to put it up. I'm probably going to do a new one next week, just with some different stuff from my trip this weekend. I did take a trip this weekend. Saying hi to Raspberry Rock. Mike McKinley, how are you, my friend? Good to see you from Ontario, Canada. Glad you could make it. Arthur Fiala, glad you could make it, my friend, from the Gulf Coast of Alabama. Bama man. Joe says 5x5. Awesome. Looks good in Anchorage. Very cool. Marcus, my friend, glad you could make it. Glad you could pop in. Always good to have you here. The sound and video is good. Thanks, Ashley. Tim Keegi, my friend, glad you could make it. Things are good. Jacques Bourne, thank you for making it as well. Miss Karen, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you. I was late answering the comments today, and we'll get into that here in a minute once I get through the hellos to everybody. Gary B., my friend, thank you for joining me. Good to have you here. Destiny, for the record, I'm drinking coffee right now, and it's your coffee, Destiny. Thank you. Declan's asking, how are the chickens doing? The chickens doing awesome, Declan. They're doing good. I got home today. I had my buddy Will stop by today and water them. And then when I got home, I checked on them and changed their water back out again because it was already frozen. It's been a bit chilly, but we're still not below zero, which is awesome. Jolie, you never discuss how the locals react to wearing a kilt in public, ever get a negative response? Yes and no. I'll talk about that because it kind of came up this weekend. Mark Campbell, my friend, glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. Tom. Great channel, folks. Tom, I think you're a moderator, too. I think I still left you as a moderator from when I went live last summer. Do me a favor, and if you've got some channels in here that you want to shout out, by all means, shout them out, because most of the folks that are in here that are viewers of my channel have great channels, too, and by all means, share your channel out, too, Tom. Tom's a big outdoor guy. Kaylin asked me what I'm going to do with the fifth wheel after I get the cabin built. I'll answer that one in a bit, Joe, and I hope Kaylin's doing better. I know she was sick. I hope she is doing much better now. Tell her I said hello. Built on the Rock Homestead. Thank you for making it. Awesome. All right, we'll pause it here. And well, I got one more hello here real quick. Oh, I got two more hellos. Three. Okay, let's do this. We'll go through this real quick. Kristen Grounds, thank you for joining me. Kathy at North Star Prepstetter, thank you for making it. Jared's Cabin, awesome to have you here. Brother Sean at North Shore Preparedness, dude. I caught your video the other day about the convoy, and I thought that was awesome. And I know I said I'm not discussing politics, but I think it's really, really awesome when ground roots people get together and do something like they're doing in Canada. It's a beautiful thing to see because it's just, to me, it's just incredible when you see that kind of stuff going on. Susan made it. Glad you can make it, Susan. Awesome. Okay, I'm to the bottom here. So my weekend was pretty eventful, and I think I drove 8 hours between yesterday and today. Drove up to Anchorage for the yearly, and it's been on hiatus. This is the first time they've had it since 2020, Alaska Craft Beer and Barley Wine Festival. I go up there and volunteer as a pourer for the local brewery down here, Kenai River Brewing Company. So I drove up, did that for the weekend, and while I was there the whole weekend, I was wearing the kilt and had some interesting comments. Most of them were positive. I actually had a woman hit on me, which does not happen to me on a regular basis. It was kind of funny. I had to actually look up at one of the guys that I was there pouring beer with, and he glanced at me, and he glanced at his phone, and he glanced back at me again, and I said, "Oh, excuse me. Is it time, Ben? Is it our turn to go back and pour now?" And he looked at me, and then his eyes got really, really big, and he goes, yeah, it's our turn, Sean. And I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I got to go. We got to get back over and pour beer." But yeah. So negative comments on the kilt. I think I've had more on the videos than I've had in public. Usually the comments I get wearing the kilt are, dude, cool. Wear the kilt. Love it. Or, oh my God, look at you rocking that kilt. Or, you are nuts for wearing a kilt up here. But on the videos, more than once, the comment's been, yeah, I don't know what's up with the dress, but I'm out. And it's fine. I don't wear the kilt for anybody but myself. I love wearing it, so it's not that big of a deal. But I do get comments every single time I wear it. Matter of fact, when I stopped off today, when I got back, so the way this whole thing worked, and the reason why I was late for all you folks that commented on today's video, was because I was driving back from Anchorage this morning, and I had to stop off and pick up some stuff at a couple of stores in Anchorage, and more about that in next week's video. And then I had to stop off at the brewery because I was the guy with the truck, so I had to pick everything up that we used for the pouring event in Anchorage. Brought them back down here and dropped them off, stopped off at the grocery store. And when I'm going through the checkout, one of the checkers that I have known, she's been there since I've been at the store, 2013, apparently has never seen me in my kilt, because today she's like, "You wear a kilt?" And I looked at her and I go, "Where have you been? I wear a kilt all the time when I'm not working." All right. I rambled there a bit. Let me jump back where I was. See, I love this thing right here where I can put somebody's comment up on there because it lets me get right back to my place. This is super, super cool. Everybody's saying hello to everybody else. Mike McKinney, you are minus 10C there. Let me look and I'll tell you what I am here. Oh, I'm sorry. For all you folks down in the lower 48 or over in Canada who are very, very cold right now, it is 25 degrees Fahrenheit here in beautiful industrial downtown Funny River. It's been warm. We're supposed to get cold tomorrow morning. We're looking, by cold, I don't mean bitter cold. We're looking at 6 degrees Fahrenheit for a low temperature tonight. So not below zero, and still no below zero temperatures in the forecast, knock on wood. And then snow coming in next week. I got a foot of snow at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. And then we've got 3 or 4 storms lined up to bring us some more snow. So it could be just a snowy winter, which is awesome. I love the snow. Good. Kathy shared Tom's channel there. And Tom's a great outdoorsman. I'll tell you what, you get in with Tom and some of his videos. And if you're into the outdoor stuff, hunting, trapping, that kind of stuff, he does lives as well. And Tom, do me a favor, and I know you do regular lives, so if you would, just post your schedule up for when you do your lives, so anybody who's interested can check you out. All right, where are we at here? Stephanie D. Hey, Sean, I worked with your daughter at the casino. Awesome, Stephanie. Very cool. You work with Brianne? Very, very awesome. Are you still at the casino, or are you gone now? My daughter Brianne lives in the town where I kind of grew up, where I graduated from high school, Tuolumne, California, which is just north of Yosemite National Park. So the casino they're talking about is Black Oak Casino which is a Native American tribe casino there. Mike, I must be Scottish. I'm not Scottish. I'm Irish. I bought the kilt originally because we have an event where I'm from, where I was just mentioning in Tuolumne County, called the Celtic Fair. And it goes back and forth. And I guess this year it's going to be the Calaveras County Celtic Fair. The guy that puts it on is a good buddy of mine, Patrick Michael Carnahan, from the Black Irish Band. And so I got the kilt because I would go to this Celtic Fair every year and just revel in Irish, Celtic music, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, Cornish, music from the Isle of Man, from Brittany, that kind of stuff. So I got the kilt for that, and I used to wear it to the Celtic Festival every year. And then I started wearing it more and more. I'd wear it when I went camping. I'd wear it when I went fishing, and it's just so comfortable. So I'm just a kilt wearing guy here in Alaska. And Mark Campbell, and you are nuts wearing a kilt in Alaska. I do draw the line when it's like 20 below zero, 15, 20 below zero. I won't put the kilt on. If I'm out doing something in the yard that's going to require me to be up and down on my knees in the snow, I'll put on the long pants. I'll put on the Carhartts. But generally, if I can get away with wearing the kilt, I'll wear the kilt all the time. I wear it fishing too, and that's the one comment I get that's so funny is, so people come up here for huge red salmon runs every year, and usually July is when we get the second week of July is when the big sockeye runs come through. And Susan can testify to this. Susan Cooksey in here, because she goes fishing with me all the time. I will put on, I call them water togs, those little shoes you can buy for your feet that you wear in the water. I'll put those on. I'll have my kilt on, and all these people will be, dossed up to the nines in hundreds and hundreds of dollars of fishing gear. And I'll have the kilt and those water togs on, and I'll just walk right out into the river. And these guys are like, "Are you not freezing?" I guess it's just, it's what you're used to. And the cold water really doesn't bother my legs at all when I'm out there. Scrolling through here. Yep, Charles, we're having a heat wave. It's nuts. It's crazy. This is the warmest January I've ever experienced in Alaska in my life, and I am not complaining. I am not complaining at all. In Oroville, California right now, the temperature is 61 degrees Fahrenheit, says my youngest daughter, Ashley. She lives up in Oroville. 72 for Tim Keegi. Tim, I think you live in Southern California right now, right? I think that's what you said before. Yay, snow! You'll see in next week's video a couple of places where I pulled over. But when you go over Turnagain Pass, and Turnagain Pass is when you leave Anchorage and you come down to either the Kenai Peninsula or Seward, it's the mountain pass that you cross over. During the winter, it is snow machine heaven. And man, everybody is up there with snow machines. And so I did get some looks there because I stopped to use the facilities, and all these guys were warming up their snow machines, and everybody was wearing snowsuits. And I jumped out of the truck in a kilt, walked into the restroom, got done, walked back out, and jumped back in the truck again. And I had more than a few people staring at me. It was funny. Weather forecast from the Philippines, Charles and Annalyn, 80 plus and humid. Crazy. The humidity is what always gets me. Kathy in Minnesota's having a heat wave this week, teens and 20s above zero. Awesome. Very cool. Kristen Grouse. Kristen, I think you are in Arizona. 70 degrees, if that's correct. 55 in southern Mississippi for Gary B. Built on the Rock Homestead. 60s in Texas. But Wednesday, a frigid cold front's coming through there. One of the coldest days I've ever spent, I think, was in Dallas, Texas. They had just an ice storm come through, and it was bitter cold. All the signs had fingers of ice hanging off the side of them from the wind. It was crazy. You're not there anymore. Your boyfriend, you just moved to Colorado. Awesome. Your boyfriend was, oh, very cool. Very cool. How do you like Colorado? I hope you're enjoying it. I don't think I've ever been to Colorado. Scroll through here. Oh, Kathy, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Calaveras Celtic Fair. There's the link for it. Some great music. And if you're in or around California, the Central California area, go to that event. It is a ton of fun. And if you like to occasionally imbibe in whiskey, they actually have a whiskey tasting at that event that is just incredible. Sean has ice water in his veins. I will tell you that when I was driving down from Anchorage today, it was 23 degrees, and I had to turn the heater off in the truck, and I rolled the window down while I was driving down. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful day today. Just be careful, salmon. Don't bite the wrong bait. If they get near my knees, dude, they're mine. I'm grabbing them if I have to grab them by the neck. This helps greatly, guys. If you post your questions in all caps, if you didn't post your question in all caps and I missed it, it's probably because I thought you were chatting to someone else in the chat. But by all means, when you post it the second time, do it in all caps and I'll catch it right away. Just like I did Kathy's comment right there. Yep, you see that? Yep, that's a true fact. Sean's fishing attire. I will wear waders on occasion, but generally speaking, it's so much easier for me to just have the kilt on and just take the shoes off and walk right out in the river and fish. Question from Karen. Sean, how are the girls and the beautiful grandbabies doing? The beautiful grandbabies are fantastic and beautiful as always, and the chickens are doing incredibly well. Somebody made a comment in today's video that, they were really curious at what the chickens were yelling at me. And I think what they were yelling was, hey, Sean, hurry up and shovel out our chicken run so we can go outside and play. They're kind of getting cabin fever right now because they don't really like to come out in the snow. And with the deep snow that we've had, there's probably about 2 feet plus, maybe 3 feet in their run area. They can come out, but they just choose not to right now. And I don't blame them. Bearfraz, welcome and hello from Northern Ontario, Canada. Awesome to have you here, man. Very cool. Leslie A says, Eastern Oregon, 39 degrees with a storm coming. Okie dokie. Southern Blessed Homestead. There's another great channel, you guys. Somebody do me a favor and share their link. Good to have you guys here, Mac and Patty. Awesome, awesome. Staying warm. I am staying warm. Mom is taking Brian and a couple friends with her to the Celtic Fair this year. Awesome. That's cool. They'll have a good time. Your mom always loved the Celtic Fair. She did, and Brian will have a great time there. Built on the Rock Homestead. Last February was the coldest I've ever experienced. Ice, snow, single digits. Over 2,000 power poles broke, so no heat, no water. Ouch. Yeah, that's vicious. That's crazy. I don't suffer any effects from power being out at all here, which is part of the reason why I did the whole off-grid thing is because I never have to deal with that. I don't have electricity. I'm not connected. The only thing that affects me is the cell phone signal, as anybody who was here last week will know. Gary, glad you can make it, man. Awesome to have you here. Stephanie, yeah, we like it so far. Colder here than back home. Yep, you're up in the mountains. Nice. That's got to be beautiful up there. That's got to be beautiful. Yeah, so Stephanie's from where I'm from in California. We're used to a lot more snow than I get here in Alaska. When a storm comes through off the Pacific Ocean and hits the Sierra Nevadas and starts to go up, it usually drops a ton of moisture, and it's nothing to get 3 feet of snow or more in a single day. So we don't get that here in Alaska, but we get the long, long, brutal, bitter temperatures. The nice thing is we've turned the corner now, and we're gaining, I think I posted it on my community tab the other day, something like 35 minutes of daylight per week. So at the end of this week, we'll have 35 minutes of more of daylight than we did right now. So by next Sunday, 35 more minutes just adds on and adds on. So sunrise here, I checked just before I went live so I could tell you this, is 9:35 in the morning, and sunset right now is 5:09 p.m. in the evening. So it's actually a little bit lighter. It's probably light by about 9 o'clock, light enough to get out and do stuff, and it's light out now till about 5:30 p.m. But when we hit the full peak in summer, it'll be light when I go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning. The sun will already be up, and it probably won't go down till about 11 o'clock at night, maybe 12-ish, right around there. So we'll probably have 2 or 3 hours total darkness at its peak in the summer, which is just incredible. I love that. 16 degrees in Palmer, Alaska from Susan. Lakeland Wayne, glad you can make it, man. Awesome here. Awesome to have you here. It was 29 this morning in Lakeland, Florida. Ouch, you guys there's got to be iguanas falling out of the trees in Florida. 29 degrees. Oh my gosh. And if you watch Southern Bless Homestead for any reason whatsoever, 2 or 3 episodes, you're going to keep watching it for Mac because he does some nutty stuff. Okay. Charles wants to know, when I build the cabin, how deep do I have to go for the footing? So from everything that I've found from my area through the borough, so up in Alaska, we don't have counties, we have boroughs, kind of like they do in New York. So for all the information I found from my area from the borough, my frost line is right around 54 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go probably 5 feet down, which would be 60 inches, and 3 feet above ground. And I want that above ground room so that when I'm doing stuff underneath, I don't have to crawl on my belly, because I'm way too old to crawl on my belly. So it will be raised off the ground, and I'm hoping that by raising it up off the ground like that, 2 things are going to happen. One, I'm going to get a better view from upstairs because I will be above most of the peaks of the trees, because our trees here are not really that tall. And I won't have the issues with the frost heaves in the winter. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out. And if it becomes an issue, then of course I'll skirt the bottom of the cabin in. But I will use the underside of the cabin for storage as well. Mike, I just had homemade chicken, bacon, green, and red pepper quiche. Yummy. Oh, that sounds delicious. I'm starting to get more eggs from the chickens. I'm going to do some quiche dishes. I like quiche. Quiche is yummy. Rich man scrambled eggs, I guess, right? Tom, welcome. Glad you could make it. Looking to retire to Talkeetna area. Was there in July for a week. Talkeetna is beautiful. Talkeetna is gorgeous. But Tom, be ready for a lot of snow, because Talkeetna gets a ton of snow. But I would put up with that for the view of the mountain, because that's from there you'll see on a clear day, you'll see the most ungodly beautiful view of Denali that you'll ever see in your life. It's a beautiful, beautiful mountain. Good. Yeah, stay below freezing, but not the precipitation. Awesome. But I also, at the other end of that, I hope you guys don't have a bunch of pipes burst and freeze. Lulu, so have you heard anything about Starlink going live up there yet? Not yet, Bill, but it is supposed to happen like in the next month or two from what I've read. I don't know if it's another satellite dump that they need to do or what, but I'm understanding that by summer, we should probably have Starlink available up here. And another great channel, the Lone Moose. Bill is moving up here as well. He's got his property down south of me, between me and Homer. And that's why he's asking that question, because he wants to make sure he can get a good internet signal from his place as well. Yo, Jess, glad you can make it. Rain Dance Bushcraft. Awesome to have you here, man. Tom, you're in Monterey, Mexico, or Monterey, California? Because I think either one, you're in for a good temperature change your first winter up there, because it does get a little chilly. If you watch the channel Simple Living Alaska, Eric and Ariel, they're in that area, that general area. I don't think they're as far north as Talkeetna, but they're not far away from it. So yeah, if you haven't seen their channel before, you might want to check it out just to get an idea of what you can look forward to temperature wise. Steph, you want to go to Alaska so bad? Make a trip up here. You'll love it. I'm telling you, anybody who ever thinks that they would love to see Alaska needs to come up here in the summer and check it out, because it is, I don't care where you've been in the world, it is so phenomenal. It is so beautiful. It's just crazy. Lisa K, glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. 11 degrees Celsius in Montreal, minus 18 with the wind chill. Ouch. Ugh. 21 degrees in Anchorage. Yeah, I left there this morning and it was 23 degrees above zero when I left there this morning. So yeah, I drove up there yesterday. I got there at about 12:30 in the afternoon, and the connoisseur session, the first session of, well, it was actually the second, because they did a tasting on Friday night. So the connoisseur session was going. I walked in the back door and started pouring beer. Left there at the Denina Center, during the mid break between the afternoon session and the late session, grabbed a quick bite to eat, walked back in, and was pouring beer until like 10 o'clock last night. And then I think I got to bed at around 12, which I never stay up that late. And then drove back down here, was up at 7:30 this morning, headed back down to the peninsula. But it was a pretty weekend up there. It was a fun event. It was a great event. Kathy, her sunrise in Minnesota, 7:44 a.m. and sunset at 5:24. Yeah, almost 2 more hours than 5 weeks ago. It's fast, huh? It's crazy how fast it goes. No worries, Mac. Definitely. I only watch your channel because of your beautiful bride. That's it. I mean, whenever you're in the camera, I look away. Lakeland Wayne, you're 4 hours north of Florida, so not many iguanas there. Okay, cool. I remember seeing the other day when I jumped on Facebook, somebody had a weather warning about Florida, and then the caption below said, be careful of falling iguanas. Birdwatcher Gene, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Will I put a steel roof on? Yes. And the color of the steel roof that I'm going to put on is the same color as the one I have on the chicken coop. Part of the plan is I don't know if I'll get the steel purchased this year before winter hits again. I will have a roof. I will be living in that place. I guarantee it. I'll be living in there this fall. It'll all depend on two things. Number one, can I get the metal? And number two, will I have the cash to spend on the metal? If I don't, I'll have the roof already covered, with the OSB, and I'll just tarp it for the winter. It'll be insulated inside, and I could keep, if I could live in a tarp trailer for 2 winters here on the property and 5 winters over at Brother Will's place in his backyard, and make that work, I can make a tarp roof work for 1 winter if I have to. Make sure to wrap your posts with heavy plastic. Are you talking about underground, wrapping them with heavy plastic? Because I'm doing sonotubes into the ground. So should I wrap the outside of that sonotube with plastic before I drop it down into the hole and fill it up? Or are you just talking about if I'm putting wooden posts in the ground? You have a heat wave in Northwest Mississippi Monday through Tuesday. It'll be 60 to 65. At 60 degrees, it's perfect. I would be outside. This live chat, if it was 60 degrees right now, would be outside next to the campfire with the snow. I wouldn't have much snow, but it would be outside because 65 is perfect weather. Yeah, it is pretty deep, but by going that I think by going that 5-foot depth, I'm going to avoid a lot of problems. I'll either go to 5 foot or until I hit good gravel. So if I hit good gravel, then frost heaves are not an issue. And hopefully I'll hit that before I get to the 5 feet. But if I have to go 5 feet, I'll go 5 feet on it. Amy, awesome. You can make it. Fantastic. Broussard's Homestead. Kathy, by all means, share their link because they're great, great people. Great people. You're making taco salad for supper? Awesome. I'm doing cheeseburgers tonight. I picked up half a pound of ground beef, and I'm going to make a couple of good old-fashioned cheeseburgers on sesame seed buns, probably some homemade French fries to go with it. Tom, I love it cold and miserable. It'll be perfect. Very good, man. It won't be miserable. It'll be cold and beautiful. It's up to you whether or not the cold becomes miserable. Do I plan on having a live cam so you can watch while I tap them nails? No, but so Russell made a good point. Russell goes live on Raspberry Rock all the time. And then Russell also joins Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft for his lives all the time. And Russell's suggestion that was one thing that I have been adamant about in my head since this started was I am going to record everything. So I can tell you now that you will have more than one video a week. You'll have at least probably 2 videos a week once that starts because it's going to be so busy and so much is going to be happening that I want to keep everybody in the loop on what's going on. I may go back to 1 video a week when I get to winter and things slow down and I don't have as much to do. But the plan is to get the whole cabin up and to the point where I can move into it before the next winter. So I'll just be focusing on that and the garden and the basics on the garden. This first year. It won't be the full-blown garden probably until next year. And then during the winter when I can't get outside to do the work on, so it probably won't have siding or anything this first year. But it'll be livable, it'll be insulated, vapor barrier inside and ready to go. And then during the winter, I'll spend that time building everything inside. So doing the kitchen, building the pantry, finishing out the bathroom, that kind of stuff will all be done during the winter. So I'll have plenty of stuff for you to watch. But to run a live cam and to be able to stream it, I don't have the capability and the power and the internet bandwidth at this point to be able to do that, I don't think. So probably not. Yeah, definitely check out Alaska's Frontier Cabin because he's got a beautiful piece of property with gorgeous views, and he's got incredible, incredible pictures of that mountain. Yeah, Russell just got his Starlink installed, and he goes live for Books Fest every Friday night. And if you know what Books Fest is, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what Books Fest is, and you're a fun person who likes the occasional cocktail, you'll want to join Books Fest. But I think he had it going this weekend, and the signal was probably the best signal I've ever seen. His lives are a ton of fun. And again, congratulations, Russell, on 50,000 subscribers. That is so freaking awesome. I see if you haven't already passed it, I think this morning I saw you were at 50.9 or 51,000. So you're still rocking it. That's great. Angie, welcome. Glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. I'll be right back. Live update from Canada Truckers. Okay, cool. Definitely. But make sure, Lisa, we don't get, I don't want to get political. The numbers are fun though. I want to know if you have numbers about how many trucks and how many people showed up. I think that's very, very cool. I'm way behind because I asked this question of Tom earlier. Monterey, California. Okay, let's run through real quick. Jerry, awesome to have you here, my friend Canadian. How's your sweater coming along? I hope the wife is, not getting carpal tunnel syndrome for making it, but it looked beautiful. Frank, glad you can make it, man. Awesome to have you here. I am staying warm. I'm using the small buddy heater now. The big buddy heater's kind of put away right now because it burns a lot more propane than this one does. And the small one, I can probably get 3.5 to 4 days off of one tank. But I haven't had to run it all day. So I'll come home in the afternoon and I could turn it off for, probably 3 or 4 hours and not get cold in here. So it's been really, really awesome. So yeah, staying definitely warm. That is the link to Bill's channel, The Lone Moose. By all means, check it out. If you're interested in brisket, bacon, that Bill does a lot of stuff on the grill too. So definitely check his channel out if you want some tips. Look at these guys right here. Yay! Ashley and Jeremy from Mapleberry Farm Off Grid. You guys are awesome. Somebody needs to share this link because this couple is great people with their daughter Sam, not building their first place off grid, but their second place off grid now. A ton of fun to watch, always entertaining and wonderful people. Glad you guys can make it. Awesome. I did watch your video with you guys putting up the trusses, and I just kept laughing. I don't know how you're doing that with 2 feet of snow on your subfloor and you're trudging through there trying to put those. I would be going insane. Hats off to you guys. I won't do that right now because the glare would be too much, but God, it's crazy. Well, cool, Tom. You've been watching Simple Living Alaska. They're great people, huh? Eric and Ariel, always fun to watch their videos. Oh, you pinged me via Instagram today? That might have been on my phone. I don't use Instagram as much as I used to, but I definitely, I'll check it out as soon as I'm done. Thank you very much for that, Karen. If you guys hit the like button, what it does for me is it pushes the video out to other people on YouTube and suggests it to them that maybe they would like to join in and watch this as well. I think last week we had a couple of people that actually saw it was suggested to them and joined in, and it was a ton of fun because it gets new people in here, and I love that. Big Bear Prepper, glad you could make it, my friend. Awesome to have you here. Mike says hello to everybody else in here too. Christy Betts, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here as well. Very cool. Only about -9C for you guys today, and then more snow and more snow and more snow. It's crazy how the difference in your places from where you were before and where you are now. And it just seems to me you get a lot more snow where you're at now. But you sure called it when you said your snow was coming, because you were saying all the way through the videos, we got a couple of more weeks. We got a couple of more weeks. And man, when it hit. That's nuts. Julie Cleary, the feisty rebel grandma. Here right now it's 14, wind chill feels like 9, overnight 3 feels like -4. Ouch. Yeah, the wind chill. I don't usually get the wind chill here. We just get the ambient cold temperature, but we did have a couple of days where the wind chill was a factor. Frank Short, I'd love to come up there, Sean, but I don't think you can get across the border because you're purebred beaver rings, especially with all your sticks. You'll have to bring your truck. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. So for anybody who doesn't understand the dynamic of Alaska, we have two industries up here that are huge. One is fishing and the other is tourism. And a lot of people drive through Canada in RVs to come up here and spend summers, like the whole year, the whole summer in Alaska. So, you know, with Canada's new rules, with everything that's going on, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think last year they relaxed some of those rules so that the tourists could come up. I don't know what's going to happen this year. It'll be, if anything, it's Alaska. It'll always be interesting. Not 14, only 4 degrees. Oop. Yeah, that's a big difference. 10 degrees is a big difference. Sparky's Run, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Everything's looking good? Nice. I like it. I like it. Charles asks, Sean, will you install a professional gas stove for my cooking? Yes. I don't know what. I'll probably buy a cheap propane stove to begin with for the first winter, just so I have a decent oven to bake in, because I do like to bake meals and I do like to bake goods. So I'm going to definitely upgrade an oven in there, but it won't be the final oven. When I'm done, that kitchen's going to be beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous. And then the plans down the road also call for an outdoor kitchen, because when the weather's right, I don't cook inside at all anyway. So it would be nice to be able to set something up outside and have a nice, I'd like to put in a wood-fired oven so that I could, you know, bake bread in the wood-fired oven, bake pizza in the wood-fired oven, do that kind of stuff during the summer and even during the winter. But definitely an outdoor kitchen down the road as well. I think I answered that one already for you, Frank. Julie Cleary, you're supposed to get snow for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, add up to maybe 10 inches. You know, is that the greatest job in the world, to be a weather forecaster? Because I know that 5 times this year they said we were going to get 3 or 4 inches of snow from a storm, especially the last ones that came through, and I ended up with like 1.5 feet. Or they'll say it's going to be sunny and 70 and it's raining and 55. It's a great job to have. Great job to have. Roof tip, spend the money and put Grace Ice and Water Shield on your roof. I am thinking that I'm going to do that. Another channel that I watch, and I'm just completely drawing a blank on it. One of them is The Outsider, and I watched him put his roof on, and he used that. It's almost a rubberized, sticky back ice shield on his roof, and I love how that turned out for him. And then the other one is, I can see his logo in my head right now, and it just drives me nuts. And I'll tell you, his catchphrase is, let's get after it. Oh, man. Drives me crazy when I do that. I'll think of the name of his channel here. But he built the cabin. He's originally from Canada, living down, I think, in the Carolinas now with his wife. His name is Graham. I mean, I can think of everything here, but I can't think of the name of his channel. And I'll pull it out of my head here eventually. But he did the same thing, and I really like how it worked. So I'm going to look at doing that myself. Jim at Woolly Reiner Adventures finally made it. Been at dinner, drowning your sorrow over the Chiefs' loss. I didn't even watch anything with football today. Haven't really watched anything with football all year, but sorry to hear they lost, man. I know how fans are. Mike, everything's so expensive these days. It is, but it's so much cheaper than it was last year to build. So much cheaper than it was last year. It doesn't matter, though. I don't care where the prices go this year. I got to build. At least the first 3 feet's a good idea if it gets expensive. Jerry, are you talking about wrapping it in plastic too as well? Cool. Russell, next time we're going to talk about your thumbnail title game. I've learned a lot from him, and I take a lot of grief too for some of the stuff that I do. And Jolie's probably still in here. I will pick a picture and I will send it to Jolie, because she's like my other set of eyes and has been since the beginning. And 9 times out of 10, I'll say, oh, I love this one. And I'll send it to her and she'll be like, nope, pick another picture. Good question. Can I get home insurance on my cabin? I probably can, but from what I understand, because I'm off grid, it becomes a little bit more difficult. I don't know. Alaska's Last Frontier Cabin could probably answer this question better because he's already built his place. And I don't know if you've got insurance on your place or not up there. I don't know that it's going to be a game ender for me one way or the other. I'm building it cash out of pocket. If I can get insurance, I will get insurance. If the price is too prohibitive, I won't do it. I'd rather just take that money every month and throw it in an investment and call that my insurance, as opposed to having to worry about making a payment for something that most people will never have to use. So I don't know yet, but we'll cross that. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Mike, yeah, definitely going to videotape me doing the whole cabin. And 2 reasons for that. One is because my daughters that are, one of them's in here right now for sure. And my grandkids, I want them to be able to see their dad build a place by hand, because I want them to know that they could do it if they want to down the road as well. And the other thing is because there's a ton of stuff with this project that I can't find information on, or I find mixed information on in videos. So I wanted to maybe help other people that may decide to do this themselves down the road. I just think it would be a ton of fun to do it and a ton of fun to share it. Mary, awesome. You can make it. Glad to have you here. Very cool. And GC, welcome as well. Grace Ice and Water Shield, 36 inches by 75-foot roll, self-adhered. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Looks like it cuts pretty easy too. Yes, I am going to film. Definitely, Mark. Film and share every single thing. I've had it beat into my head by everybody who has done something like this to film. Don't I have so many extra SD cards for the camera that I'm just going to film until I burn my camera out. Kristen, I'm not sure if I said hello to you or not. I think I did just before I went into my spiel earlier, but hello again and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Christy, right? Little buddy heaters are awesome. They're just so, they're so easy to use, easy to set up, and from my own point of view, even though they advertise them as safe to use inside, I can tell you that since 2013, I've used one inside and had no problems at all. I do live in an area, though, before it was the motorhome and now it's the fifth wheel trailer, that are neither one of them are airtight. So I do not have to worry about a buildup of anything in here anyway. But I've had no issues with it at all, other than they wear out eventually. You might want to refresh there, because I don't know what the thumbs up are, but my thing up at the top says we got 56 folks in here. And thank you guys for joining me. Awesome to have you here today. Still trying to figure out where, oh, there's where we're at for time. I want to see where we're at time-wise. Tink, welcome. Glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. Wildwood Off-Grid Alaska, another great channel. Fantastic folks to watch. I am glad you guys made it. Awesome to have you here for a live. They're building a place right now in Tok, and they're going. If you want to watch construction videos in remote areas of Alaska, you need to watch their channel, because they are going through every single detail of the build, one step after another. And when lumber prices got too high, he got on the bandwagon before they blew up too much and bought a mill. So watch this channel. These guys are great folks. Great couple. Yeah, right? Jess, around there, the wind chill is the real temperature. Yep. Oil and tourism. Oh, that's right. Duh. What was I thinking? The 3 big things up here: oil, tourism, and fish. Fish and tourism kind of go together for most of the businesses in Alaska, like the grocery stores and stuff like that, because of the people that come up for tourism to fish. But we also have a pretty big market, a huge market in commercial fisheries. But oil is probably number 1. All right, Bill, glad you can make it, man. Awesome. I hope everyone is okay. Hope everything turns out well. Bob's Hope asks, do I use a filter on the hose for the buddy heater? No, but I have actually thought that I might want to get one because I've read that part of my problem with my buddy heaters kind of losing it after 3 or 4 years is caused by the oils that are coming from the propane. And if I had a filter on there, it would alleviate that problem. So the last buddy heater I did not toss. I have it in a box under the table in the kitchen right now, and I'm going to take it apart and see if I can't clean it and get it to work again. They're inexpensive, but I hate to throw something away that I can fix. So I need to look at that. I did not, Mary. I need to go check that out. Russell has a solar bread video. I'll have to go check that out because if it's bread related, I love it. I love it. Joe, weather forecasting's easy. Just keep saying there's a 100% chance of 50% precipitation. Steve, I hope everybody is okay and it wasn't too bad for you. Yeah, right. That's another great channel, The Outsider. That young kid fell every cedar tree that he used to build that cabin with himself. And I was just amazed watching what he did. And he's kind of nuts. He has a GoPro. And while he was falling trees, somehow he climbed up to the top of the tree and put the GoPro on there so that you got to watch the tree fall from the top of the tree, which was just incredible. I think I might have missed your other comment on this. Sometime in March, you're getting your trusses delivered and thinking about standing it up in March. Ow, wow, that's crazy for where you guys are. That's going to be a bit of snow to deal with there. Unless I didn't catch up towards the end, so I don't know if you got the OSB thrown. Oh no, you couldn't have obviously had anything thrown on the roof if you didn't have trusses yet. Lindsay Salmon's welcome. Glad to have you here. Things are going awesome on the Kenai. It's been beautiful down here this year. So far, so good. Holy smokes. The Canadian police say there's over 100,000 trucks in the Ottawa area. Wow. Talk about a statement. That is incredible. GC, put it on skids, then on the concrete pavers. I actually looked at the different ways that folks are building cabins up here, and I looked at skids, but I have plans of adding onto it down the road, and I don't know how that would work out. I'm really a lot more comfortable with putting it on sonotubes, and again, for the reason, if anything else, just to be able to get underneath it and do what I've got to do underneath when I eventually put the well in. So for the plumbing, for the well and the septic when it's all done. Go Canada! And can you imagine 100,000 truckers doing that in Canada and all of them apologizing for the mess that they're causing? Because you know that they're all in there and they're like, we're sorry about the traffic. We're sorry about the traffic. Got to head out, Ashley. I love you too. Glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Kiss the baby for me. Kiss little Rosalie for me. Tom, how is it in my area? Wasilla has meth issues. Alaska has substance abuse issues. Every state has substance abuse issues, but Alaska, I think, has got some bad areas. And I don't know how you fix that. The good thing is that they also have some incredibly, incredibly wonderful people up here, more so than in a lot of places that I've lived. So, I'll give you an example. Nobody can come onto my property that without my vehicle, without one of my neighbors driving in to ask them what they're doing if I'm not here. It's very, very awesome, that kind of community. But yeah, there are some issues in Alaska. I've looked into insurance and do believe that there are 1 or 2 companies that'll insure, but you've decided to not get insurance. And I'm kind of in that same boat with you. If the price is reasonable, I'm more than happy to pay for insurance. If it's not, I would rather take that money and invest it in something. And down the road, if something happens, I could go ahead and rebuild again off the investment. At least I'm paying it into myself if nothing does happen. And, I get to the point where someday I pass away, because we all do, then I'll just give that money to my children instead of giving it to an insurance company. I'll have to check it out, Kathy. Lemna Acres use the Gray Shield too. I'll have to check it out. Lisa K. My grandpa built his family home. You have in Michigan during the Depression years, had to pound used nails straight, and then family lived above the garage until the floor was finished. See, you don't get stories like that from buying a house in the suburbs, that somebody else built. That is just awesome. I love that. Those kind of stories are just incredible. Julia Inga, glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here, and good afternoon to you as well. Be Charming, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. I'm going to fly through as fast as I can. Get caught up. Grace Ice and Water Shield on your roof. Had it for 3 years beforehand, putting the metal roof on. Oh, really? Okay, so you didn't even tarp it. You just put the shield on? I'm going to look at that, definitely. Because if I can avoid having to put the tarps and just do that, then why not, right? That's the easiest way to do it. And the snow will shed off of that, I imagine, too, because the outside, the non-stick side, looks slick enough to where once it's black, once the heat hits it and it warms up, it should shed with no problem at all. Howie at Food Forest Permaculture. Glad you can make it, my friend. Awesome to have you here. Mike, I'd rather have a Wave 3 and a Buddy heater. Okay, I don't know what a Wave 3 is. I'll have to look that up when we're done. Lisa just bought a Buddy heater. Awesome. Yep. I'm going to look into the filter too. I think that'll make a big difference. Kathy, thank you for sharing the Outsiders channel. He doesn't really need any help, but it's a great channel. He's hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but great, wholesome channel as well. He's building that cabin with his dad, which is awesome. I just can't imagine what it would have been like to try and do what I'm doing right now and have my dad step in and correct me with everything that I did wrong. But at the same time, when my dad realized that I was really coming back, before he passed away, he realized that I was really coming back to Alaska to build a place. He was like pretty darn proud of me. And that made me feel pretty darn incredible to get the reaction that I got from my dad before he passed, once he realized that I was chasing this dream for real. Gary B, awesome. Glad you can make it, man. Have a great day. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, thank you for stopping by. Yes, I'm definitely going to use the adjustable bolts in the sonotubes. I do have a buddy down here, Ward, that is a contractor, and he's kind of hooking me up with some tips and tricks to use, and he'll probably help me line everything up when it comes to the sonotubes. You might see him in a video if I could get him to keep his mouth shut, because he tends to get a bit ambitious. If we want to keep it a family channel, we'll have to make sure that Ward has a gag. And if you're watching Ward, you know what I mean. Sonotubes are the way to go. I'm on good ground for it. It'll make it easier for upgrades down the road. That was my thought too, when I add the extra bedroom off to the side. Oh, Canadian truckers or American truckers are up there too. Awesome. Very, very cool. I just love that kind of stuff. I think that stuff is so neat. Yeah, Lisa. You're right about polite Canadians. I was watching the Northern Girl Hobbies, and she was handing out black trash bags so they would not leave a mess in Ottawa, right? Canadians are awesome people. A lot of my friends on YouTube that I follow on a regular basis and that I chat with all the time on their lives are Canadians, because they're, number one, they have so much more in common with me and what I'm doing here than somebody, say, doing this same kind of project in Arizona or Texas. And number two, because they're just so nice. I mean, they'll tell you, you're doing everything wrong and you're not the most intelligent person in the world, but thank you. And it's just, they're the only people on the face of the earth that could tell you something that will bring you right down to your bootstraps and then lift you up at the very end. It's just awesome. I like Canadians very much. Al Brown, awesome to have you here. Let's see what you have to say here. 4 inches of closed cell foam covered with 50 mil of truck bed liner, then bermed with mechanical concrete. Okay. Oh, I know who you are, Al. Awesome. Glad you could make it. Yeah, you sent me pictures of your place. Very awesome. When I am gonna plan this summer to take a little trip and get away from everything down here and head up to the interior, because I want to come by and see you, and I want to get over and see the folks in Tok. There's a bunch of people. I want to see Morgan if he's got his cabin going up in Glen Allen. I definitely want to get out and visit. I caught up. That's awesome. Mike, I'm writing down all these different YouTube channels. Should be good. It'll support everyone. Right. Awesome. And so when I do the lives, I'm trying to remember to do it every time where the live replay will have the live chat going on the side too, which you can close if you don't want to watch the chat, but the links will be available after this video is done. After we're done going live, you'll be able to watch the live again and scroll through the chat and find the links that you may have missed here. I'm going to have to figure a way maybe to save some of these links down the road and maybe put them in the show notes when I'm finished so that you guys will be able to find these channels. That would be kind of cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. It does. It really helps get the channel out. Carol L., glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Steve from Ontario. Good to have you, Whiskey Harbor. Awesome. Shots? Okay, Russell, I'm going to do a shot of coffee right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little tired today. So what else you guys got for me? I got all caught up, and I never do that. And we got like a minute and a half left here before the hour's up. So if you've got any last-minute questions, by all means, ask them. Let me know, or leave a comment down below or one of the other videos, and I'll get back to them and answer them. I'm all caught up on my comments, or I was just before I went live. So, and we've made it all the way through a live chat without one glitch on the computer. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, you're taking care of the kids right now, Jess? Yeah. So yeah, I left the live chat clicked so that it will replay with the video for anybody who watches this after it's gone live, and then that way you'll be able to see the links. Russell, I probably said it earlier. What's my date for breaking ground on the cabin? As soon as the ground thaws. I mean, literally, if that happens at the end of February, then it's the end of February. But as soon as the ground thaws, I've done some investments over the last few years that have done pretty well for me. And that's where I've been saving most of the cash to do this build. So I've started moving those now into a building fund at the bank so that when the ground is ready to go, I can walk in and pay cash for everything I need right off the bat. So I've kind of been setting up for this over the last couple of years. I just didn't want to, spend more than I had to spend to make this happen. And that's why last year was a bust. But yeah. I mean, as soon as the ice is gone, Sean is building. I'm planning my vacations around building the cabin this year. Okay, at what stage do I need to be able to do this? I need to take that week off as vacation. Wow, see, truckers everywhere, huh? You don't mess with truckers, and you don't mess with garbage men, ever. You're going to lose that argument every single time. Eves, glad you could make it. We're just getting towards the end, but I am glad that you got in here, and you can watch the replay if you would like to as well, because there's a ton of great links in here today. We're at an hour, folks. I got to scroll all the way to the bottom and tell you all thank you very much for joining me. As always, I hope you have an incredibly wonderful week. I'm going to get out of here because there's a lot of other folks that go live on YouTube as well. Talk to you all later. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching the videos and supporting the channel. I'm Sean in Alaska. Have a great, great day.